Hey everyone, there's one more thing I want to talk to you about with the table of contents. Sometimes I use a table of contents as a preview for the book. You like to go to a movie, you watch a preview ahead of time to see what it's about, right? To get an idea, all right? Sometimes with a book, a nonfiction book, especially if it's on a topic that's kind of hard for me, I need that preview to kind of help me understand things. Kind of like when you go to the zoo and you pick up the map, you can understand how everything in the zoo is laid out. So you won't get lost along the way. A table of contents will do that to you. It'll kind of show you, okay, here I am at the lions. I want to go, oh, what am I going to be seeing next? Okay, I'm going to see the elephants next. And kind of get you ready for the next chapter. So, there's this book that in an earlier video I was talking about how it was tough and I wasn't really sure I was ready to read it. Well, now I am. In fact, there's a chapter in it I really want to read. All right? It's about death. Death is kind of gross. And so I thought it might have some interesting things in it. It's called Mortality. So I've found the table of contents. I'm looking at that chapter. Life and Death in the Plankton, Larval Mortality and Adaptation. Okay, that doesn't sound too bad. Now I can see in this table of contents, it's right after a whole chapter about behavior and locomotion. That's how they move around. And it's right before another chapter about mechanisms of cross-shelf dispersal of larval invertebrates and fish. Woo! Okay. Alright. The thing about this book is not only does it have a table of contents in the front to tell me where each chapter fits in, but each chapter has a table of contents too. So I flipped over to the chapter about death, life and death, and it tells me there's going to be an introduction, then an estimation of larval mortality. In other words, how many of these things die? All right, that's a good idea. I'm going to get that sense of it. Then it's going to talk about when in their life are they more likely to live or die? Like what part of their life are they going to have a hard time? I want to know about the struggles that these creatures go through. What makes it hard for them? So this chapter is probably going to help me out. It's going to talk about starvation, predation. It's going to talk about sinking. I mean, you live in the ocean, right? Larval advection. I don't know what that is, so I'm going to be using the glossary some when I read this chapter. It's going to talk about the relative importance of factors. In other words, all these things that affect how they die, which ones are most important? And then it's going to give me some references at the end of the chapter, so I know where to look for more. So now I've got a sense of kind of where I'm going in this chapter. And that's going to help me understand it as I go, because like I said, it's a tough chapter. And another thing that this book does is it gives me subtitles. All right, those subtitles match the titles in the table of contents. So I can always look back at the table of contents to kind of figure out where I am. It's just like a map. Use it and you'll be glad.